We're completing more than 500 tests a day, which puts us on par with Massachusetts and ahead of many other states. And I'm very proud to let you know that by tomorrow, we'll be at a capacity of 1,000 tests a day. So I have a special message to our primary care providers. Primary care providers, start sending us folks. By tomorrow, we'll be at our 1,000 person a day capacity. We're relying on the primary care providers to screen and triage patients and go ahead and start making appointments for getting patients swabbed, because we're going to be able to have these tests happening. Again, this is unbelievable, because a month ago we were running, essentially no test or a few tests in one lab in the basement of the Department of Health building, and now we're doing 1,000 a day, 6 centers, staffed by the National Guard, and 6 different labs. Thank you to the team who's made that happen. We have been, as I told you, scouring the world for the critical supplies that are necessary to keep people safe. In the past couple of weeks, we've procured 500,000 respiratory masks, nearly 500,000 surgical masks, and we are ramping that up every single day. We tried something new. We were the first state in the country to say that we were going to allow our kids to continue to go to school, but to do it through distance learning, and we're making it work. It's not easy, but we're making it work. We have over 140,000 school children in public schools today, right now, receiving their education. It's in 310 schools, and 97% of school leaders are reporting positive feedback. If you're a teacher, if you're a student, if you're a principal, if you're a school resource officer, take a minute and give yourself a pat on the back, because it is phenomenal, and I'm proud of the work you're doing. So how is all this work happening? Every day I come up here, I stand alone with 1 or 2 people behind a podium and tell you, I do my best to explain to you where we are, where we've been, and where we're going. But the truth of it is, I have a whole army of people behind me working around the clock to protect you and to protect the people of Rhode Island. And so I want to take the next couple of minutes just to give you a view into all the work that's happening behind the scenes. You hear, when you read the paper, watch the news, watch the national news, you hear a lot about ventilators, masks, hospital beds, and all that's important. But here in Rhode Island, we have a much more comprehensive response happening. It's not where it needs to be. That's why we get up every day and work harder. But I want to take a minute to give you a peek into what's happening, hoping that you'll have some confidence that we're getting ready for the surge, which will come, and then we're going to be fine.
I'm trying to hold it somewhere so I could do my schoolwork and take this at the same time.
It'll be really tough, but we have teams in place working now to make sure we're doing everything we can to get us through as safely as we can. So, for example, a few weeks ago I tapped Steve King to run our supply chain for PPE. Steve runs Quonset. He runs the Quonset Business Park. He does a fantastic job. He got a call from me late on a Saturday night. I said, Steve, I'm calling you in off the bench. I need you to assemble a team to do nothing but 24/7 get us, the state of Rhode Island, PPE. And he's doing that. He's doing that in every way possible. Local manufacturers, FEMA, on the phone in the private market. He has a team of people working for him.
I got it to hold on.
Is purchase for us masks, gloves, gowns, face shields, goggles, N95 respirators, regular surgical masks. Right now, 2 weeks ago, we didn't even have this work stream. Today, right now, we have on the way to Rhode Island over 5 million N95 masks, over 3 million surgical masks, hundreds of thousands of gloves, hundreds of thousands of gowns. We have local manufacturers retooling their systems to produce some of this equipment for us. It's not here yet. Every day's a battle. Sometimes when the order is made, the federal government comes in and cancels it. But you should know there's a team on it. They're professional. I check in with them every day. And millions of resources are coming into our state in the coming weeks to keep our healthcare providers and our first responders safe. Testing. As I just announced, by tomorrow we'll have the capacity in our system to swab 1,000 folks a day and test 1,000 folks a day. Thank you to all of you who made that possible. Soon, in a week or so, I'd like to have here in the state of Rhode Island same-day testing widely available. That's where we're going. I don't know exactly what it'll be. That's the goal. We're working it every day. Contact tracing. We have a whole team that does nothing but contact tracing. This is a huge effort. Yesterday I asked you to do something, and I'm going to ask you again today, because if you haven't done it, I need you to do it today. Contact tracing will save lives. It sounds simple, it's a lifesaver.
What is that?
I need every single Rhode Islander, get a notebook, and at the end of every day, while it's still fresh in your mind, I want you to write down where you've been and exactly who you've been in contact with. And write the date on it. It should be very easy, because you should be saying, I've been in my house and in contact with my family. But for those of you who have to go to work, or maybe you went to the park, or maybe you go for a walk, or maybe you went to the grocery store, I need you to write it down every single day. So that if you do get sick, or someone in your family gets sick, our contact tracing team has a better ability to figure out who you may have spread the disease to.
That means us because
where we want to go with contact tracing and what our contact tracing team is doing is a much more technology-enabled contact tracing method. So right now we have a team of technology folks, some of whom I brought in from the private sector, some of whom are volunteering, some of whom are in the National Guard, some of whom already worked in the state. All they do all day is work on how to figure out how to do the best, most sophisticated, most accurate, most real-time contact tracing. So again, I hope in a week or two, I'm able to say to you, we can have much more widespread contact tracing, and we can track people based on their symptoms, based on their location, and we can do it in a tech-enabled way. Until then, thank you to the hundreds of people who we have doing this manually. It's very difficult, and they're doing a terrific job. We have a team doing nothing but quarantining. Quarantine is also the key. As I've said so many times, I cannot and will not let this economy be closed one more day longer than necessary. In order for me to reopen the economy, we need testing, contact tracing, and quarantining to be effective. So what does this mean? And we have a team on quarantining. They are finding hotels so that folks who are homeless can quarantine effectively. They're people who are in congregate settings, group homes and the like, or people who are housing insecure. We need everybody to have an effective place to be quarantined. So we're marshaling those resources and getting facilities available. We need to figure out how to track people in quarantine to make sure that they actually stay in their quarantine. We're working on that. We need to figure out how to deliver essential services to people in quarantine. You can't ask somebody to stay in their house, but then not give them a hand getting groceries or medicine or essential supplies. So these are all the things that we're working on so that we can have effective quarantining. And again, I just want to give you a feel for how comprehensive the work is that is happening. Surging, I get asked all the time, are we going to have extra hospital beds? Yes, we will. We will need them. I want to say thank you to the hospitals. We're talking to them every single day. Every hospital is figuring out the surge capacity within their facility.